grab hold of the hubcap and pull. Grab a 21mm socket and break the bolts loose. You can use a breaker bar as well. Go ahead and jack up the vehicle. There's a jack in the back. Make sure when jacking up the vehicle, it's between these two notches. Grab your jack stand. Raise it up. And evenly distribute the weight across the jack and the jack stand. Remove the lug nuts. And I like to throw the tire under the vehicle just for safety. Next, you want to remove the entire caliper. Grab a 14mm. There's going to be 2 bolts. That'll let you break the brakes free. You don't want to let this hang because it can break the brake hose. So grab a bungee cord and hang this up. Now we want to remove the rest of the caliper. Let's break this loose. And do the other one on the bottom. 14mm, break it loose. Okay, we got that top one out. Do the bottom one. And on mine, these 2 bolts were on there, but that's because my rear alignment for some reason is off. Maybe the portion of the solid axle is bent. So the previous mechanic put these 2 bolts on the caliper, so that way the caliper is more towards the tire. Now this should shimmy off. There we go. Now the rotor, sometimes you hit it with a rubber mallet and it'll break free. Other times you have to buy a bolt. I need to find it, but you buy 2 of them. They thread into these 2 holes here, and as you slowly tighten it, the rotor will pop forward. Go ahead and remove the rotor. And here on the hub, as you can see, there's 3 holes. We're gonna use the smaller one. Grab your 14mm on an extension, and you just gotta rotate this around and remove the 4 bolts for the wheel bearing. As you can see, we've got 3 of the bolts out so far. Before we remove the last one, we want to disconnect our sensor here. Just lift up on the 2 tabs and separate that. Here on the bottom of the clip, as you can see, just push down on the tab and then you slide it backwards. Can't see it on camera, so that clip faces the ground. So you squeeze here, then slide that out. Now what I've done here is put the rotor on backwards, hand tighten the lug nuts, grab a pipe wrench, then grab a hammer. Let's go ahead and clean all our surfaces with sandpaper, try to get this rust off here. What I've done here is take sandpaper, try to sand off a lot of that rust, and I took a metal wire brush, and you want to get some lithium grease and put it all around to try to prevent rust in the future. So this is an SKF bearing. Here's the part number, 638676. Looks a lot better. As you can see, there's the little sensor here. It'll only go one way. This goes towards the top, so that's going to mount up in there like that. Currently this vehicle drives in a straight line. However, I noticed that when this was taken off, even though this is a solid rear axle, I see this alignment spacer here. So since the vehicle seems to be already aligned, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off, and it has to be the exact orientation that it came off. So let's go ahead and slide this plastic piece off and put it on our new wheel bearing. We'll see if we can wiggle this piece free. Pretty dang rusty. It would be better just to buy new ones. Okay, that came off. Let's try to sand this surface so it's more smooth. This portion here that's cut out is going to go where the caliper goes, so just take note of that. But let's go ahead and clean this up with our wireframe brush. Okay, we got that cleaned off the best we could. I really wish I would have bought new ones. Didn't know they were that rusty. So this actually goes on here, and this goes right on here. You can tell because the imprint that's left over. You can see here all the lines. Make sure to clean up the bolts with a metal wire brush. Okay, we've got those 4 bolts started by hand. Don't want to cross-set them. And let's take our drill and gently thread those in evenly. You'll want to do it in a crisscross pattern. And you want to make sure that the hub is going in evenly. Sometimes it can be crooked, but as long as you don't have too much rust, it sets right into the lip very easily. Okay, we've got those 4 bolts in. Let's go ahead and reattach the caliper. I believe this caliper might be seized, so that's another job for another day. But if not, you can take some sort of tool like this and try to separate it. Then when reattaching the caliper, you would go like this. I have to add these 2 washers so that my caliper will sit farther forward, not grind on the rotor, and that's because they have the alignment spacers. As you can see, I got these 2 bolts started with my spacers. Yours won't have spacers. Let's go ahead and tighten these 2 bolts. And put the 2 bolts back on. Sometimes you'll need to use an adjustable wrench. Hold this piece and tighten this one. Make sure this spins freely, and that the pads aren't too tight. The side with the clip right here goes on the bottom. Then this protective cover goes over the top. There we go, that's locked into place. Then this needs to sit not flush, but it shouldn't be sunken in or like that. So this is kind of an indicator if you have your tires sitting flush against the new hub. Take your lug nuts, the rounded side goes in. And take your hubcap. Notice this area is rounded out for where you put the air in the tire, the valve stem. So line that up right there.